What if I told you that someone could silently watch everything you do online? Every click, every password, every private message. And the scariest part? You wouldn't even know it's happening. Welcome back to Tech Sky, your trusted source for ethical hacking and cybersecurity education. Today we're diving deep into one of the most concerning vulnerabilities in web security, browser hijacking. Before we begin, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell to stay updated with our latest security insights. Your support helps us create more in-depth cybersecurity content like this. Before we begin, let's address something crucial. The knowledge shared in this video is strictly for educational purposes and security research. Using these techniques without proper authorization isn't just unethical, it's illegal. All demonstrations are performed in a controlled lab environment. We strongly encourage using this knowledge to protect systems, not exploit them. Let's understand what browser hijacking really means. Right now, countless hackers are exploiting a simple yet powerful attack vector that turns your web browser against you. This technique, known as browser hijacking, allows attackers to take complete control of your browsing session. Think about it, your browser is your gateway to the internet. Your banking, your emails, your social media, everything goes through it. Now imagine someone secretly controlling that gateway. These attacks often start with something as simple as connecting to a public Wi-Fi network. The attacker positions themselves between you and the internet, like an invisible puppet master. Once connected, they can inject malicious code into any website you visit, effectively turning your browser into their personal spy tool. The process is deceptively simple. When you connect to a network, the attacker intercepts your connection, modifying the data flowing between you and the websites you visit. They inject a small piece of malicious code into every web page. This code creates a hidden backdoor, giving them complete control over your browser. They can now see your screen, log your keystrokes, even activate your webcam, all without any visible signs of compromise. But don't worry, knowledge is power. Today I'll show you exactly how these attacks work so you can better protect yourself and your systems. Let's move to our lab environment and see this in action. First, we need to prepare our testing environment with the right tools. Open your terminal, and let's start with updating our system. Type sudo apt update and press enter. This command refreshes our package lists, ensuring we get the latest versions of our security tools. Always start with updates. Outdated tools can have vulnerabilities themselves. Now, let's install our first tool. Type sudo apt install BeEF-XSS. This security testing framework helps us understand browser vulnerabilities. It's extensively used by cybersecurity professionals to assess web application security and demonstrate the risks of browser-based attacks. By understanding how it works, we can better protect against real-world threats. Next, we need to install another crucial tool. Type sudo apt install Bettercap. This powerful network analysis tool helps us understand traffic manipulation techniques. Security professionals use it to test network security and demonstrate man-in-the-middle attacks. Understanding these attack vectors is essential for building stronger defenses. Now that our tools are ready, let's understand our primary framework. Type sudo BeEF-XSS in your terminal. BeEF, which stands for Browser Exploitation Framework, is opening for the first time, so it's asking us to update the default password. The default credentials are username BeEF and password BeEF for the web interface. After updating the password, BeEF provides us with crucial information. Notice those two URLs it displays. The first one is the web UI where we'll control everything. And below that is something called hook.js. This hook.js is like a digital phishing hook. It's a piece of JavaScript code that, when loaded in a target browser, creates a connection back to our BeEF server. Think of it as an invisible string connecting the puppet to its puppeteer. Watch the countdown. BeEF automatically opens its interface in your default browser. Here we are at the login page. Enter BeEF as the username and your new password. You're now looking at the Getting Started page. They've provided a clever traffic light system for commands. These lights indicate the status of commands. Let's try something interesting. See those two test links? Click the first one. Notice that humorous message. Having fun when your browser works against you. That's more ominous than funny when you understand what's happening. Switch back to the BeEF interface. Look at the right panel under Hooked Browsers. See that new entry under Online Browsers? That's your own Firefox browser that just visited the test page. It's now hooked, meaning BeEF has established control. Click on the hooked browser. The details page shows everything: browser type, operating system, even active cookies and session information. This is why browser hijacking is so dangerous. Attackers can steal session tokens and hijack your logged-in sessions. Let's explore the Zombies tab. It shows our local IP address. Your browser has become a zombie, controlled by BeEF. In the log section, we can track every action and event. We'll dive deeper into this later. The commands section is particularly powerful. It lets us execute various commands on the hooked browser remotely. The proxy tab allows for traffic manipulation, while XS arrays can scan for cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. The network tab provides a complete map of the target's network architecture, visualized for easy understanding. Hosts and services tabs give us detailed information about the target's environment. Watch what happens when I close the test website. Our hooked browser moves from online to offline. Let's try the advanced demo link now. It looks like an innocent meat selling website with sign-up forms and purchase options. If we enter information here and return to BeEF, check the logs, every keystroke, every form submission is captured. Your username, email, password, everything is exposed. This demonstrates how a compromised browser essentially becomes a spy against its own user. Now that you understand the basics, let's move on to combining this with Bettercap for a more advanced attack. Instead of just testing with BeEF sample pages, we're going to learn how to hook any HTTP website that our target visits. This is where things get really interesting. First, let's identify our network position. Open your terminal and run the command ifconfig. This shows us crucial information about our network interfaces. Look for your IP address, we'll need this later. Also note your network interface, which in our case is Eth0. Keep these details in mind, they're essential for our next steps. Now let's fire up Bettercap for our man-in-the-middle attack. We'll be positioning ourselves between our target Windows machine and their internet connection. Type sudo bettercap iface eth0, making sure to use the network interface we identified earlier. Bettercap is now running. But we need to understand what commands are available. Type help to see all the modules. Notice that most modules aren't running yet. We need to activate 3 fundamental modules to initiate our attack: net.probe, net.reckon, and net.sniff. Let's activate them one by one. First, run net.reckon on. This module starts scanning our network, helping us identify potential targets. Next, type net.probe on. This actively probes devices on the network, gathering more detailed information. Finally, enter net.sniff on. This module begins capturing network traffic, letting us see what's flowing through our network. To verify these modules are running, type help again. You should see them marked as running. This is our foundation. Now let's build on it. We need 2 more crucial modules: arp.spoof for our man-in-the-middle attack, and http.proxy for injecting our malicious hook code. But first, let's identify our target. Type net.show to display all connected devices on the network. You'll see several devices. We're looking for our Windows 7 virtual machine. Let's verify the target. Switch to your Windows machine and open CMD. Run ARPA and compare the IP address with what you saw in net.show. Got a match? Perfect. Time for ARP spoofing. Run set arp.spoof.targets followed by the IP address of your Windows machine. Copy it exactly as shown in net.show. Then activate the module with arp.spoof on. You'll start seeing packets coming from Windows 7. We're now successfully positioned between the target and their gateway. We'll use the http.proxy module for this. Type help http.proxy to understand its capabilities. Pay special attention to http.proxy.sslstrip. This attempts to downgrade HTTPS connections to HTTP. And http.proxy.inject.js, which we'll use to inject our BeEF hook. First, run set http.proxy.sslstrip true. While modern browsers often prevent this, it's worth trying. Now for the crucial part, set http.proxy.inject.js followed by our hook URL. To get this URL, open BeEF again. Copy the hook URL but replace the default address with your actual Kali Linux IP that we found earlier with ifconfig. Activate the proxy with http.proxy on. Double-check everything's running with the help command. All our required services should be active. Time to test. Open BeEF, log in with your credentials, then switch to the Windows 7 machine. Open Internet Explorer and visit vulnweb.com. This is a deliberately vulnerable website used for security testing. As soon as the page loads, switch back to BeEF. Look at that. A new browser appears in the Hooked Browsers panel, labeled with vulnweb.com. Click it to see all the details: browser type, operating system, everything is exposed. Let's demonstrate the power of this hook. In the Commands section, navigate to the Browser category and scroll down to create alert dialog. Click it, type "You are hacked" in the message field, and hit execute. Switch to the Windows machine, see that alert pop up? Imagine browsing normally and suddenly getting mysterious messages. But wait, there's more. Go to the Social Engineering section and find Fake Notification Bar. Click it, enter Hi, subscribe to TechSky, and execute. Back on the Windows machine, a convincing notification bar appears at the top of the browser. This shows how attackers can create legitimate-looking messages to deceive users. There are many more commands to explore, each demonstrating different aspects of browser exploitation. The possibilities are both fascinating and concerning, which is why understanding these techniques is crucial for cybersecurity professionals. Let's talk about protecting yourself from these browser hijacking attacks. The good news is there are several effective countermeasures you can implement. First and foremost, always be cautious about public Wi-Fi networks. These are prime hunting grounds for attackers. If you must use public Wi-Fi, always connect through a trusted VPN service. This encrypts your traffic, making it much harder for attackers to intercept and modify your connections. Another crucial defense is to use HTTPS-enabled websites whenever possible. Modern browsers like Chrome and Firefox actually force HTTPS by default. This prevents attackers from injecting malicious code into your browsing sessions. If you see that "Not Secure" warning in your address bar, think twice before proceeding. Keep your browsers updated. Browser developers constantly patch security vulnerabilities. Those update notifications might be annoying, but they're crucial for your security. The same goes for your operating system. Regular updates are your first line of defense. Consider using security-focused browser extensions like HTTPS Everywhere and NuScript. These tools can prevent unauthorized JavaScript from running in your browser, making attacks like the one we demonstrated today much more difficult. For network administrators, implement proper network segmentation and use tools that can detect ARP spoofing attempts. Regular network monitoring can help identify suspicious activities before they become serious breaches. Enable your firewall and configure it properly. A well-configured firewall can detect and block many of the techniques we demonstrated today. And always use strong, unique passwords for your network devices, especially your router. In our next video, exclusively for members, we'll dive even deeper into browser exploitation techniques. We'll explore advanced payload delivery methods, custom hook creation, and sophisticated social engineering tactics. Join our membership program to access this premium content and take your cybersecurity knowledge to the next level. To unlock advanced ethical hacking tutorials and exclusive cybersecurity content, like our upcoming video on advanced browser exploitation techniques, click the link above in the info icon. As a member, you'll get access to in-depth technical tutorials, private Q&A sessions, and premium cybersecurity knowledge that we can't share in our regular videos. Before we end, remember, the knowledge we've shared today carries significant responsibility. These techniques should only be used in controlled, authorized environments for security testing and research. Never use them against systems you don't own or have explicit permission to test. Like this video if you found it valuable. Subscribe for more cybersecurity content. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest tutorials. This is TechSky, reminding you that in the vast tech sky, security illuminates our path forward. Stay curious, stay ethical, and keep learning.
cause we